Welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and inside this GameFound Preview Series, I'm excited to be checking out Nemesis Retaliation from Awaken Realms. Inside this video, I'm going to show you how the prototype is set up, everything you're about to see, including the instructions to set up this game, as well as all the components are all subject to change and further development. If you want to find a link to the campaign page, I've got it in the pinned comment and video description, and if you'll join me for further videos coming in the future, we'll dive right into a solo cooperative play together to show you how the game flows and operates. Without further ado, let's start with the very first step of setup. The first step is already done. I placed 3 section tiles across the top, A, B, and C, and then along the left-hand side, we've got the round track tiles, 3 of those as well, all of them interconnecting to make an L shape on the outside of the game board. Next, we place the landing zone room tile in the socket of the middle of the round track tile. Now we find the landing zone card and place it on the left-hand side of the round track. On the card, we place 4 grenade tokens, 4 oxygen tank tokens, and 4 full ammo clips. Now let's set up the round track. A round marker goes on the first slot of the round track. Then an auto-destruction token goes on the corresponding spot just above the round track. And last but not least, the lander token goes in the 10th position on the track. Now let's set up the robot. The robot server connection token will be placed in the marked spot right next to the robot cards. Then you shuffle all the robot cards and place one face down in that spot. And to the right of that, you'll place the robot miniature, 1 full ammo clip token, and 1 oxygen token. With that now completed, we move on to the life support systems, which all start disabled from the very beginning. Oxygen is not flowing through the 3 different sectors of this map. So A is shown here. You'll see in the top right-hand corner, we'll place a token there. We have 1 for B and 1 for C as well. That'll do it for Sections A setup. Let's head to Section B, where the hibernatorium is. The hibernatorium is also inactive when the game starts, just like the life support systems, so we'll place a token just above it. Next, find the 2 anti-aircraft tokens, make sure they're face down, shuffle them up, and place them stacked in the slot provided. Now let's move to Section C to set up the Queen. Shuffle all the Queen's health cards, randomly discard 3 of them without looking, and place the rest of those cards, which should be 5 of them, in the corresponding spot on the Section C tile. In the far right space for eggs, place 5 egg tokens. Now we'll head back to the hibernatorium in Section B. The hibernatorium has 4 exits. We're going to place doors on all of them, all closed. With the doors in place, let's now set up the corridor tiles. Shuffle all the corridor tiles and place them just outside the round track. Take the top 3 off, and you're going to connect them as they're going to be corridors leading off of the landing zone room. 3 corridors are now connected to the landing zone. As you'll see, we have a 2, 3, and a 3. And yes, inside of Retaliation, it is absolutely possible to pull tiles off the stack that create a situation where you have all 3 corridors with the exact same number. Rolling that number becomes that much more stressful when it happens. Organizing the room tiles is as simple as flipping them over, taking a look at their backs, A, B, C, and question mark. You're going to place all 4 of these stacks individually shuffled off to the left-hand side of the round track. And just to ensure no confusion, the room tiles A, B, C, and question mark are not merged together. They are kept separately outside of play. You'll be drawing from these as needed through gameplay. Now we move on to the exploration cards, a new deck for Retaliation. Shuffle this deck and place them near the room tiles. The map is now completely set up. Let's move to the Intruders Setup. I placed the Intruders within easy reach. For those that are counting the different types of miniatures here, this is not a final count. I've only grabbed a chunk of the miniatures that are inside the box. Some of them I'll just keep off to the side. The event deck and intruder attack deck have both been shuffled. When you place them within easy reach just outside the game area, make sure there's space to the right for the discard piles. The intruder tokens are next. You find them as well as the intruder bag. You're going to place them face down, which I visually have not done yet, but I'll place them face down and then randomly select 1 larva token, 1 blank token, 5 random adult tokens, and place the intruder bag close to the playing area with these inside. Here's a visual of what's going in the bag. Blank token, larva, and 5 adult all going into the bag without knowing what's on the other side of them, although we know the blank token has nothing on the opposite side, but these ones do. And then all the rest are face down in stacks off to the side. That wraps up the Intruder setup. Let's now move to other decks and tokens. Some of these will be familiar with previous Nemesis installments. We have the Serious Wound deck, Contamination deck, and all 3 of the different item decks. We're going to be shuffling all these and placing them within easy reach. You'll certainly want to keep the most heavily used tokens nearby. I put them inside of game trays. These are not part of the prototype or the final version, but I find them very handy for keeping these things organized. We got the secure tokens, ammo tokens, grenade and oxygen, fire, noise, and malfunction. And lastly, the other components you'll need, of course, are the dice as well as the contamination scanner. Place this one nearby. We have the noise dice, the shot dice, and the burst dice. We now move on to character selection, and as I'm playing solo, I can choose to control one character if I wish, true solo, or I could choose to control multiple characters, multi-handed essentially, in a co-op fashion. I'm going to choose the latter because I like being able to do synergies between different characters, so I'm going to be selecting 2 of them. I've chosen the Recon and Heavy Gun Operator. Now I'll show you the setup of one character, which will be duplicated for the other character as well, again with their specific components. The first thing you need is a universal marker to mark your health. It'll start in the green slot on the far left at the very top of the character dashboard. Now, similar to the previous Nemesis games, there were help cards that had 1, 2, 3, and 4 for each of the players in the game, but when you're playing solo and controlling multiple characters, these aren't necessary as much, and you can really go through gameplay without them. However, they are a nice reference of the player phase and the event phase as a guide. Those cards will be necessary when playing multiplayer. Each of the characters gets a backpack stand. From the mission objectives available in the prototype, we shuffle them up and place one face up in the main objective slot on the game board. The mission goal is perimeter clearing. It says the reactor must be shut down and all basic rooms A must be explored. The main mission goal has now been set, and as we remember from Nemesis and Nemesis Lockdown, not only do you have the main mission, the corporation goal to go after, you also have a private goal as well, and you can choose which one you want to do. Now, inside of this prototype, there is not a solo and cooperative objective deck to look through, so I'm going to be, as I go into my gameplay, just focusing on completing the main mission goal, which is the one we just saw moments ago. This deck right here is going to be used when you have multiple players around the game table, and you're going to simply go ahead and flip it over, and you're going to take a look and see how many players you have in total and remove cards that are above that player count. This is going to give you that private goal. Again, when you're playing cooperative solo, you're not going to need this deck right now. So just to reiterate, in the final version of the game, there will be a solo and cooperative deck, which will be specific to when you're playing a true solo or when you're one individual controlling multiple characters. That will give you the variation of going after either the corporation or main goal versus a private goal for the characters. So that will be present in the final version. It's just not here in the prototype, but we can still continue on going after that corporation goal. We now gather some character-specific items. We have the miniature, the action deck for the heavy gun operator in this example. We also have the starting item for the heavy gun operator. This is a heavy gun. It comes with a full clip of ammo. Now we find the starting item deck, shuffle it up, and create a pool of 7 cards face up. Then each character is going to select one of these items to add. Again, if you're playing multiplayer, you're going to be starting with the very first individual all the way through. As our main mission is to shut down the reactor, we're going to be in the depths of this particular facility, so I think having a combat motion tracker is going to come in handy, and also a supporting robot wouldn't be bad from the hop. We get one, we can pick whichever robot we wish. I'm selecting the technical robot. Now the characters get to choose how they want to fill out their tactical belt. On the left-hand side of their player dashboard, there are 4 slots to fill out. They can put grenades, oxygen, or even ammo there in whichever configuration they want. I'm going to choose somewhat of a balanced approach for both my characters. We'll go with 2 full ammo clips, 1 oxygen, and 1 grenade. Then each character is going to shuffle up their action deck and draw 5 cards into their hand. The final thing is the first player token, which in this case is a miniature of a cat in space, and it's going to go to the individual I've selected to go first, and when playing solo and cooperatively, I can do this selection, whereas if you're playing multiplayer, whoever's got the help card with number 1 will take this miniature. Both of my characters are now fully set up. Both miniatures for my characters show up in the landing zone to start off the mission, and also the support robot I picked up. Our team has landed on site. And that, my friends, wraps up the how to set up video for the prototype of Nemesis Retaliation from Awaken Realms. Again, remember, everything here is subject to change and is not final, but hopefully this gives you a great idea as to how the final version will essentially set up on the table. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. Cannot wait to dive into a playthrough with you all, and get ready for the campaign coming in the very near future. The link to that in pinned comment and video description. If you want to discuss the Nemesis Retaliation campaign as it's going on, we have a Discord open for that in the crowdfunding area. Would love to have you join us there, or on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.